Hello there, everybody. It's me, Callie Meister. How are you doing today? I wanted to do an astrological breakdown in regards to romance, love, and attraction. And I want to break down each element in regards to fire, water, air, and earth. And I'm going to discuss each sign underneath each element. First, though, if you want to go back and watch the video I just did on cardinal, mutable, and fixed signs. Why is that important? Well, they play a factor into what we find attractive. And if you are a fixed sign, it may be more difficult for you to find an interest in another fixed sign. If you're a mutable sign, it may be difficult for you to find interested in the mutable sign. Now, that being said, that depends on your evolution. If you're highly evolved, two mutables may get along. It depends on where you are in evolution. And that's what I believe. Each sign has a negative and a positive element. And we start towards a lower resonance, and it's our job in our astrological sun sign to move into higher recognition of more positive traits of that sign. And we move past those things that would be considered negative. Why this is important in attraction too? Well, I posted this really great article on my page in regards to somebody writing the most lovable zodiac sign and the least lovable, and they rated them, where I feel like that's a little unfair because their perception in regards to their personal experience in their sun sign is going to play a factor into that if you look at best versus worst. So that being said, I may be highly attracted or interested or find a certain sign more lovable than, say, somebody who is an Aquarius or a Sagittarius or a Leo. We're all going to find something a little bit different in each sign, and where some are more challenging, some are easier for others. So check out that video on mutable, fixed, and cardinal signs. But right now I'm going to talk about the fire signs since we are in Aries season, and Aries is the beginning of those fire signs, and they are a cardinal sign. Now, what I mentioned about cardinal signs is that they're igniters, they are leaders, they like to start things, they like to get things done. They are very creative and fun and funny. In fact, I will say I adore Aries. I am always interested in having conversations with the Aries people in the room. I find the men very attractive, and I really enjoy hanging out with Aries women. Why? They get stuff done. They really put a fire underneath your butt. If you are a fixed sign or a mutable sign, it's really good to have that Aries in your life to kind of push you into doing things. They are creative. They tend to be one of the more humorous people that you will run into. They're very funny, they're very quick-witted, they're very sharp, they're very good at risk-taking, and depending on how evolved they are, that can be a plus or a negative. Now, if you have a lower evolved Aries, that can be a little frightening because they're not calculated in their risk. Where if you have an evolved Aries, they're very, very calculated in their risk, and they do things with the idea that this is going to have a high payoff. So that can be kind of fun if you're more of a stuck sign, one that doesn't move forward. Now, other things that are attractive in regards to Aries is that I find them incredibly lovable because they are the children, like the toddlers of the zodiac. So they're impetuous and they're full of energy, and they like to kind of go out and do things, and they'll challenge you to try new things and to look at things through new eyes. They're really good at revisioning things for you and letting you kind of look at how you've been seeing something and understand that the world outside of you is going to see it in a very different way. And that can be really, really charismatic and charming and fun, and be really, really something that each sign can learn from. And there are things in impetuousness and youthful energy that can be very, very educational for other elements and other signs. Now, where they get a little negative, that energy, when it's not harnessed well, can meander into obsessions with things of sexual nature. In fact, that's one of the things, if you want to know how your body works, date an Aries. They're very efficient in wanting to figure out their partners in a sexual nature, so they can lead towards being very sexual. In fact, I kind of feel that this whole Scorpio being the sex sign is a misrepresentation put out there by other Scorpios, because when you ask a group of people, Who's the most sexual sign? They will say Scorpio. Well, here's the thing, it's all the Scorpios saying it. If you kind of delve closer, there are other signs that actually, when asked, will come up for other signs. Like I have found the farm animals come up because we're farm animals. It's like, in regards to being a nurturing, caring, supportive, romantic partner, Aries goes real high up there because, again, they want to make you happy. And that can be a plus or a negative because a lot of times they're very, very nurturing to partners. In fact, I will say one of the reasons I adore Aries men is that they are the partner that when you sit down at a table, say you go out to eat, they pull out your chair, they put your napkin in front of you. If you smoke, they light your cigarette for you. They move the ashtray closer to you. They make sure that your glass has water or whatever drink. They want you to be happy. It's very important to them, like a child would want their parent to be happy. It's this kind of need to please the other person and for them to be in a state of flow, because it's odd, though Aries can thrive in chaos, they don't like to, because they do run very high energy, and one of the negative things is they can have a lot of anxiety, and that's something they're going to have to deal with quite often. Again, pluses, energy, great. Negatives, they can be sort of anxious. They're also really stuck in their way of doing things. And that's how you can tell an unevolved one is you have to kind of move towards their schedule. A more evolved one is more open in schedule and able to kind of let you in. But getting into the world of an Aries, that's one sign they like you a lot. If they will bend their schedule for you, that basically says, hey, I have feelings for you in some way, be it friendship or romantic. If they're willing to move their schedule around for you, then there's something there. However, you know that you're not a high priority if they can't seem to change their plans for you. So, and this may be things that to the other person may not seem like big deals, but they really like their organization and structure sometimes because it kind of keeps them going and able to move about the world in the way that they like to move about. And so that's Aries in regards to negative and positive. And now we're going to go into Leo. Leo is a really interesting sign. Now, they are fixed signs. Now, when we talk about fixed signs, these are the stable ones, the ones that like to create things and like to work things, tend to be more into manual labor and having something physical and tangible in front of them. Now, here's the thing about Leos. They must be the center of attention. That can be kind of a negative for a lot of people. If you are a big personality and you get with Leo, most of them are big personalities. I mean, look at people like Madonna. Madonna is a prime example of Leo, where they're just kind of bigger than life. And that being said, they do have their own sort of sexual tenacity. I find that people kind of, again, they talk about Scorpio. It's the fire signs that are the more sexual because they have that passion. They have that, they burn really intensely. And so with Leo, there's a level of, if they want to try it, they want to try it. You're not going to shame them. That's a cool thing about Leo. They're difficult to shame. They don't get really bothered by a lot of things. They kind of have this like, well, so attitude. Like if it's human nature, it's human nature. That's not going to bother them to participate in something. It's not like they're killing somebody. It's not like they're doing something illegal or inappropriate. And even if they are, they don't see the ethical dilemma as long as it doesn't harm another person, or is as long as it's consensual. They're pretty open and into what they are willing to do. They're very discerning, and that's the good thing about Leo is that they know immediately how much they care about somebody. And if they love you, they will bend over backwards for you, and they love giving gifts. If they like you, they will give you gifts because they want you to feel taken care of in a very, not that they're materialistic, but they like the idea that look what I gave you. I went out and I looked for this. I thought about you specifically. So, and it's not that I spent the money on you. It's that because they're all about the I went out and I took my energy to focus my energy on you. So that means I must love you. Now, when dealing with a Leo, you have to understand you're kind of dealing from the I very strongly. I. Now, that can be a plus and that can be a negative. Like I said, they're attention seeking. They tend to be competitive. All of the fire signs are a little bit competitive, and especially Leo. They're competitive in more of a mature adult way than Aries. Aries can be kind of childlike when they're competitive. When involved, they can be very, 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 very temperamental if they don't win. Leo can also be sort of temperamental and brood when they're unevolved. But for the most part, they can be very affectionate partners. They tend to get along with other fire signs, and you wouldn't think so, but they can get along really well with Sagittariuses and Aries. The Leo might be a hard because they're both fixed. And so there's always going to be this kind of competition and creation. But if they have somebody who can kind of assist them in the editing or with the creation of ideas like an Aries can do or a Sagittarius can do, they're going to benefit from that because they like to get things done. They're always going to be trying to one up people or do the next big thing or be seen for the coolest thing in the room. So that's where they are in regards to being lovable and what would be attractive and what might be not as attractive to another sign. And final, we have Sagittarius. Now, I love Sagittarius, I really do. They're one of the signs I feel are misunderstood. And also, they kind of tend to be technically the fourth farm animal in a way because they're horse from the waist down. So they are going to have this sort of animal-like interest. Again, that can kind of translate into a sexual sort of way. It's almost like human brain sexual ability or, desire in an animal sort of sense. Sagittarius is now, they're mutables. So they're ever changing. They are, when they're one way one moment, they will be another way. And 5 minutes later, they can kind of have sort of a Gemini sort of idea in regards to change and things like that. What's the thing about them is they are dreamers and they're schemers and they always have a plan. They always have aspirations, things that they want to do. They're the journeymen and the travelers. If you like somebody who wants to go out and explore the world, like they get along pretty well with Geminis and Aquariuses and these people who want to travel, want to move around, want to see things, want to experience things, want to have fun, want to joke. Sagittarius companions can be very lighthearted, and yet when they need to be very serious, they can be very serious. And that's kind of nice when you know that if I need to go to this person for a joke, I can. If I need to go to this person for a deep heart-to-heart talk, I can do that also. And understand that they're going to intuit what it is you need in that moment, which is very nice. That being said, the negative in them, they cannot finish a project. They normally, a Sagittarius because throughout their house, they have these half-finished projects because they have these really great ideas. But when they're not evolved, they have it because they are again mutable. So they're the editors. So they get stuck in that editing process and they don't finish anything. And you would think, okay, well, they're editors. Well, that's fine. The problem is they didn't have any help in regards to the foundation of idea and creation. So when they go about the idea and creation, it gets to the edit for them. Like, I'm too much in this. If somebody else had put their little fingers in this, I think I could perfect it and edit it a little bit better, but it's just too me. It needs something else. And in fact, if a Sagittarius can get with a fixed sign, because they help them, they stay on them, finish this, and it kind of keeps a fire ablaze underneath the Sagittarius because they're almost like fire behaving as air. They can burn themselves out a little bit. So if they have a fixed sign to kind of stay under them to keep them going, that's so helpful to them. So that's the positive and the negative in regards to Sagittarius, and I hope that helped. Like I said, I find each of you guys lovable in your own specific ways. Now, that being said, please check out my YouTube channel and subscribe to my channel. Like my videos. Please share my videos. I'm trying to grow in regards to YouTube and Facebook. This is something I like doing. It's a lot of fun, so I hope that you guys can support that. That being said, I will also attach sites to my Facebook business page, my Facebook page, my website, all the wonderful stuff that you would need to contact me to book an appointment if you would like to book a private reading with me. So I look forward to speaking with you guys, and next I'm going to cover the earth signs. You guys have a great day. Take care.